Hi, once again welcome to you all for this coaching class. Okay, so we'll solve the remaining problems from the chapter Dual Nature. Okay, so here we go. The question is like this: A and B are two metals with threshold frequencies 1.8 into 10 power 14 hertz and 2.2 into 10 power 14 hertz. Two identical photons of energy 0.825 electron volt each are incident on them, then the photo electrons are emitted from, is it from only A, plate A, or plate B, or both A, B, or neither A nor B? Okay, we'll see that. Okay, so now what is given is phi naught for A is 1.8 into 10 power 14 hertz. Okay, and phi naught for B is equal to 2 into 2.2 into 10 power 14 hertz they have given, right? Okay, and energy they have given E1 is equal to E2 is equal to 0.825 electron volt they have given, right? Okay, but we have to find the phi naught value. It means work function of metal A and work function of metal B. Once you get these numbers, then we can say or identify the exact answer. Okay, whether from it is coming from A or B or both or neither A nor B. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, so the standard formula we know that is phi naught is equal to h mu naught. Okay, but if you want to calculate in terms of electron volt, then you have to divide it by electron volt, right? Correct? Okay, but here C is not there. Directly they have given frequency value, but we know that H value is 6.6 into 10 power minus 34, but H value in electron volts. Okay, H value in electron volt, it is 4 into 10 power 15. Okay, you know this, right? So it means I can write H by E into mu naught. So for A you can write 4 into 10 power minus 15 into phi naught value is 1.8 into 10 power 14. So this, if you calculate, I'm going to get 7.2 into 10 power minus 1 electron volt. This is nothing but 0.72 electron volt. Similarly, we have to find the phi naught for B, that is 4 into 10 power minus 15 into this value 2.2 into 10 power 14 hertz. Okay, so this will be around 0.88 electron volt, right? So now you can see here the energy here is 0.82. okay, so either this or this. Now stopping potential is 0.88. okay, so this is lesser than this, so it means this cannot be. This energy is greater than this, so that it means the given energy is sufficient to remove the electron. That's the option A is the right answer. It means only plate A will is possible. Okay, if, the photoelectrons can emit from only the plate A. So option A is the right answer. Hope you got this. Okay. Our next question is like this: light from a source is incident on two photocathodes of work function 3 electron volt and 1.5 electron volt respectively. The incident light has an energy of 4.5 electron volt. Then the ratio of the maximum velocities of electron in two cases are. Okay, so here your options are like this. Okay, so we'll see, right? We'll solve this now. So first work function phi naught 1 is 3 electron volt. Okay, and phi naught 2 is 1.5 electron volt. Okay, and energy they have given energy of the photon, right? It means energy of the light incident, that is 4.5 electron volt. Okay, then they are asking maximum velocity ratio V1 by V2 maximum is equal to question mark, right? So you can see options like this. based on the options we have to solve. Sometimes it is very important to look at the options, okay, very carefully. So again we'll go with the standard formula. K maximum is equal to h nu naught h nu minus mu naught y naught. So let us see, K maximum 1 is equal to 4.5 minus 3 electron volt, correct? Phi naught is 3 and this is 4.5, so this is 1.5 electron volt, correct? So K maximum 2 is equal to what? 4.5 minus 1.5 electron volt, okay? This is 3 electron volt, okay? So now we'll see here, K maximum 1 and K maximum 2 is half mv square mv 1 square by half mv 2 square. So half mv get cancel, so I can directly write v1 by v2 whole square maximum is equal to 1.5 by 3 electron volt, correct? So this is what 1 by 2, correct? But it is v1 by v2 whole square, okay? So what we must do is we have to send the square this side, so it will become v1 by v2 is equal to 1 by root 2 is the answer. So the answer is option B is the right answer, 1 by root 2. Clear? Up next we have the question like this. The work function of the three metals A, B and C are WA, WB and WC. Instead of phi A, phi B, phi C, they have used WA, WB, WC respectively. They are in decreasing order. It means VA is less than VB and okay. So sorry, VA is greater, VB is than VB and VC. Okay, WC. No, sorry, it is W, right? Okay, they are in decreasing order. The correct graph between stopping potential V0 and frequency nu of incident radiation is, okay? So look at the things carefully, you can easily observe the thing, okay? So here one thing you should understand is, irrespective of the materials we use, the slope of each line should be same, because it should be in the straight line, okay? But here, see, here in the both the C, option D and C, it is like this, this is bending like this is going like this. These are not parallel to each other. So option C and option D are anyway not possible, okay? And within this only we have to see, okay? And since the work function WA is greater than work function WB and which is again greater than WC, we can say that nu naught A is greater than nu naught B greater than nu naught C. Then which is the correct answer then? Okay, look at this. This is greater, it means the stopping potential required should be greater or less. So see, if we go with this ABC, okay, A here this is frequency, here A is assigned for less frequency but C is assigned for more frequency, but here we can see actually the frequency of A is more and B is quite lesser than this, okay, compared to C. So option D is the right answer. No, sorry, option B is the right answer, because stopping potential required and the frequency is like this, right? I mean to say, for greater frequency, greater work function is required. So since is it decreasing order, so this is the right answer, okay? So decreasing order, CBA is the right answer. Okay, our next question is based on the topic wave matter, okay? So from here onwards we are going to discuss on the topic wave matter, okay? So question is like this: the velocity of body of mass 10 gram is 2 into 10 power 4 meter per second. The de Broglie wavelength associated with it is, so we have to find the lambda de Broglie wavelength, and we have the formula h by mv, h by p or h by mv. Okay, since they have not given the momentum directly, they have given mass and velocity, we have to use this. Okay, so h is 6.6 into 10 power minus 34 divided by 10 gram they have given, so 10 into 10 power minus 3 kg into 2 into 10 power 4, right? So this is 6.6 into 10 power minus 34 divided by, what I do is 2 as it is, this 10 into 10 power minus 3. Okay, so I can this 10 power 4 is there, this is 10 power 1, so 10 power 4, 10 power 4 and 1 is 5, minus 3 is 10 power minus plus 2, right? Total answer. So here now what I do is 6.6 divided by 2 is 3.3 into 10 power minus 34 minus 2. The total answer is 3.3 into 10 power minus 36 meter. Okay, so option D is the right answer. Clear? Our next question is, the energy that should be supplied to an electron to reduce its de Broglie wavelength from 10 power minus 10 meter to 0.5 into 10 power minus 10 meter, it means half. Okay, will be, right? So we'll see that now. Okay, so now the wavelength formula, we have lambda is equal to h divided by, in terms of relation energy, if we want to write 2m, I can write electron volt, but I can write kinetic energy also, right? Kinetic energy. Okay, so it means lambda is inversely proportional to root of kinetic energy, right? Or it implies lambda square is proportional to 1 by ke, correct? Or else ke is proportional to 1 by lambda square. Okay, so now I want the two k's, right? Or kinetic energy 1 and kinetic energy 2. So k energy, kinetic energy 2 by kinetic energy 1 is equal to, since is inversely proportional, I should write lambda 1 by lambda 2 whole square. Okay, so lambda 1 is how much? 10 into 10 power minus 10 divided by 0.5 into 10 power minus 10, right? So this get cancelled, 0.5 means 1 by 2, 2 will go up, so it means 2, okay, whole square, right? So 2 whole square means 4, it means ek is equal to 4 times ek1, right? Kinetic energy 2 is 4 times the k1, right? So but they are asking there should be energy supplied, the difference in the energy, right? So it means energy supplied, therefore energy to be supplied is 4k ek1 minus k1 k1, so that is nothing, actually it is E2 minus E1, right? So E2 minus E1, so it means E2 is this much and E1 is this much, it means 3 times. Okay, so answer is, actually by this you come to the conclusion 4 times, okay, but actually the energy supplied is E2 minus E1, so this is the right answer. Okay, so most of the students will get confused with this, so option D is the right answer, not the option A. So suddenly by looking at this answer, some of you can come to the conclusion option A is the right answer, but option D is the right answer. Okay, next question is, the de Broglie wavelength of neutron is lambda when its kinetic energy is ke, full stop. When its kinetic energy is increased by 4 times the initial 4 ke, the corresponding de Broglie wavelength is. Okay, so again we have to get the lambda, the relation between first and second lambda. Okay, lambda 1 and lambda 2, or lambda and lambda dash. So basically we know that kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, or mv is equal to root of 2m kinetic energy. Okay, this relation you should be knowing. So here in the place of mv I can write p 2m k, right? Okay, anyway, so from this relation we know lambda is basically h by p, okay, is equal to 1 by this root of 2m k, right? Okay, so with this we got the relation between the energy and lambda, right? So this implies lambda is, just before this question also we solved the same kind of question, but anyway, kinetic energy, right? Okay, now so we'll see that now. So lambda is inversely proportional to the root of this, right? So we want to find the new lambda, right? So lambda dash I want to find, so divided by lambda original. So we can write, so for lambda dash I should so lambda is inversely proportional, right? So I should write like this, new one is k, right? So for this I should write corresponding energy 4 times k. So this is k get cancelled, 1 by 4. So if it is outside the root, 1 by 2, right? So the new answer is lambda dash is lambda by 2. It is half of that, right? So if energy is increased by 4 times, the wavelength will be decreased by 2 times, or it is will be half. Okay, so the right answer is option C is the right answer. Okay, so we'll go to the next question. See the question. The de Broglie wavelength of a neutron at 927 degrees Celsius is lambda. Its wavelength at 27 degrees Celsius. Okay, again we have to solve with lambda formula only. Okay, but here it is in terms of degrees Celsius and all. So we should know the new formula. Lambda is equal to h by root of 3m kt. Okay, so this you should remember, k is the Boltzmann's constant and T is the absolute temperature. Okay, so it means lambda is inversely proportional to root of the temperature, right? So we want new lambda, so lambda 2 by lambda 1 is equal to root of, for this lambda 1 I should write here. Okay, lambda 1 is 927 degree, but 223 in order to convert into Kelvin. Okay, so lambda 2 I have to write here, that is 27 degree plus 273 degree, that becomes. Okay, now so this is, if you add this 3 plus this 2 plus this around 1200 you'll get this. If you add you'll get 300, 0 0 get cancel. This is 3 1s are 3 3s are, okay, 3 4s are 12, so 4. So out of, if you take, it will be 2. It means out of the root if you take 4 will be 2. So lambda 2 is equal to 2 times lambda 1. Okay, so which is the right answer here? Option D is the right answer. Okay, our next question is like this. If a proton and an electron have same de Broglie wavelength, then, okay, so read out the options properly. This is kind of statement kind of problem. We'll see. Both have same kinetic energy. Okay, you have to think. Proton has more kinetic energy than electron. Electron has more kinetic energy than proton. And option D, both have same velocity. We'll see that. Okay, so we should know the relation between lambda, proton and electron and its mass or velocity and all. So here we go. Lambda is equal to h by p or mv. Okay, since we have velocity here, we should go with this v. Okay, now the same equation I had to write for proton. Okay, so if the proton, then I should write lambda p is equal to h, anyway h is constant, mass of proton and velocity of proton. Okay, and for electron it is E is equal to h divided by mass of electron and velocity of electron, right? Okay, so Now they are telling if proton and electron have same de Broglie wavelength, it means lambda p is equal to lambda e, correct? It means h by m p vp is equal to h by m e ve. This implies m p vp is equal to m e ve, right? Okay, so it means velocity of electron divided by velocity of proton is equal to mass of proton divided by mass of electron. Okay, so we'll go with this. Now, do you think mass of the electron is more or mass of the proton is more? Right? So mass of the electron is 9.1 into, I'll write it here. Okay, mass of proton is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. Mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. So which is greater? Obviously mass of proton is greater. It means the ratio is more than 1. If ratio is more than 1 is means obviously this velocity of, anyway this is equal to this, right? Velocity of electron is more than velocity of proton. It means kinetic energy of electron is more than kinetic energy of proton. So which is the right answer? Proton has electron has more kinetic energy than the proton. Option C is the right answer. Our next question is like this: the de Broglie wavelength of electron in the first Bohr orbit of hydrogen atom is. Okay, so we have to find de Broglie wavelength. Okay, we know that momentum p is equal to h by lambda, or lambda is equal to p by h, right? So this, okay. Now from Bohr's condition we know that mvr is equal to h by 2 pi. Okay, this is from Bohr's condition. It means mv is equal to h by 2 pi r, right? So 2 pi r, what is this 2 pi r? Circumference. Okay, and this is mv is nothing but here p is nothing but mv is equal to h by lambda, right? So in the place of lambda we have this when you compare both equation number 1 and 2, right? So it means lambda is equal to 2 pi r, correct? So what is the answer? Equal to the circumference of the first orbit. So that itself is the answer. Half 1 by 4 354, no, it is not the right answer. Equal to, see lambda is equal to 2 pi r, that is circumference, so it means equal to the circumference of first orbit. So option A is the right answer. Up next we have question like this: an electron and proton are moving with same speed. Okay, velocity is same. Mass of proton is 1836 times the mass of electron. The ratio of the de Broglie wavelength will be, this is somewhat related to this question, but anyway we are going to solve it now. Okay, so we have to find the ratio of their wavelength, right? It means mass of electron and proton given, so we have to take electron in the numerator and proton in the denominator. So this, so here h by meve divided by h by mp vp, right? H get cancelled, it means mp vp divided by meve, correct? Now what they are telling is, if both are moving at same velocity means vp is equal to v, correct? So it means this get cancelled, this is mp divided by me, correct? So mp, mass of electron is how much? Mass of proton is 1836, mass of proton is 1 times electron in the, okay, like this. Okay, we can write like this. So this is, here we can write finally lambda e by lambda p is equal to 1836. This indicates lambda, that is wavelength of electron, is 1836 times lambda p. Okay, or anyway they have asked ratio, right? Okay, yeah, so it means this is the final answer. So obviously the option, okay, not C, option B is the right answer. Okay, hope you got this. Okay, now we'll see the last question of this video. So lambda e, lambda p and lambda alpha are the de Broglie wavelengths of electron, proton and alpha particle. Okay, if all are accelerated by the same potential, then okay, so look at the given option carefully, then we have to get the right answer. Okay, now we have to find the relation between the potential and lambda value, so that we can get the answer, right? Okay, right, we'll solve it. So lambda is equal to h divided by root of 2m EV, okay, EV, or else I can write this implies lambda is proportional. Anyway, they have told same velocity, same potential, h is constant, 2 is constant, so I can write root of m. Instead of E, I am going to take the charge Q, okay, because alpha particle is also there, P is also there, E is also there. I am going to take charge instead of E, okay. So it means okay, so both are inversely proportional. Now we know that mass of alpha is greater than mass of proton is greater than mass of electron. Okay, anyway, you know the mass of electron and mass of proton, but mass of alpha particle, let me tell you, is 6.6446 into 10 power minus 27 kg. So mass of proton, just now we got to know 1.67 into 10 power minus 27, but here it is 6.64, right? So this is quite greater, so it means mass is greater. So if mass is greater, this will be lesser, right? So in the sense, mass of alpha is greater, mass of proton is greater, and mass like this if it is there. Now therefore lambda E, this is inversely proportional to, right? So for this corresponding, we are going to get like this alpha. Okay, so this is the right answer, right? Since both are inversely proportional, okay, so mass play very important role here. Okay, so charges remains to be same, mass of proton, electron, alpha. So this alpha, only the lambda will vary according to their masses. Since it is inversely proportional, this is the right answer. So option E is the right answer. Okay, so here we have given with extra option, so look at this option carefully. Option E is the right answer. Clear? Thank you very much.